In this video, we're going to talk about the technology knowledge strand, and our heading on this one is technological products. So the questions that you have to ask yourself whenever you look at technological products is why technological products are made from certain materials, how does the product work, and the importance of the materials selection for the products. So today our case study will be on screws and screwdrivers. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to talk about just two screwdrivers that I looked at for this study. So we can see different materials already being used here. Now this one on the left with the wooden handles, probably pre-51 or late 51. Just after the Second World War, plastic was still being developed. There was Bakelite and wasn't very good for screwdriver handles because it was quite brittle. If it falls, it will break. So let's look at the materials here. So this one, we can see it's probably carbon steel, the front bit, because it gets quite corroded. Then there's a bit of aluminium here to support the part into the wooden handle. And mainly these wooden handles were rosewood because it's quite a strong wood, and actually it looks quite good. So the aluminium ring there is just to keep this bit from splitting when this is forced into the handle bit. So like I say, 1950, this is a pre-1950 model, and it still works pretty good. Then the newer ones, you can see as well, the material will be on here, chrome vanadium steel. It's written on the side, so that's the chrome vanadium steel. This one was the carbon steel and a wooden handle. So chrome vanadium steel, and then the tip will be hardened to keep it stronger. Oh, I forgot to mention that this is a flat screwdriver and this is a Phillips head. And we'll go a little bit into that in a little while with the screws. This handle is made out of a rubber and plastic compound, which is casted around this end. The tip will be forced into the screw, into the wooden end. So these two are one of the commonly used screwdrivers until square heads arrived. So I'll just show you, this is a flathead screw. The screwdriver fits in there and you can turn it into something. This works really good if something's painted because it will be easy to get the paint out of this part, and then you can still tie this in. Now, I don't have a Phillips head. I'll get a Phillips head for the newest tips that you get. So that's the flat tip. Then the Phillips head looks like this, the cross to fit there. Then you get the square edge. That's more like the newer ones that you get like this, and you can turn it into something like that. It's got a square head and the tip's a square tip as well. It's quite neat because you can use a lot of power on this. Now this is also a revolution of the screwdrivers, so handheld screwdrivers, and this is the impact drive, so you don't have to hand turn stuff anymore. You can just press the button and that turns the screw into something. You can undo it by just changing this around. So if you look at kind of this is the little progression on screwdrivers, handheld, and then it came over to machine, and the first ones were with main powers, but the batteries, like you guys know, have improved so much so that this can work really good with a battery powered device. So if there weren't people asking questions, or if there was no evolution of technological products, we would still be using this one, turning screws in by hand. But stuff has moved up, so flathead, Phillips, and then the squared ones. You get flatheads with the modern handle as well, so the flathead is still around. Phillips is just named after a guy, his surname was Phillips, that patented the first Phillips head screwdriver. And then the newest ones today on the market, it's more or less the same as the square head, but it's just a hexagonal head. So you've got a hexagon on the top, and that gives you more areas to, or more parts for the screwdriver tip to grip onto. Now, looking at all this, let's recap everything quickly. So technological products, what are made from certain materials. Then how did the product work, and the importance of the material selection for the product. So if you made this part out of wood, it will probably won't work that good. That's why it needs to be steel. It needs to be important, the material that you used it from. And then the handle as well, it needs to work. If this falls, if it was a brittle material, it will just break. And the comfort of using it, this one's actually much more ergonomical friendly. with plastics we were able to cast stuff in different ways, so you can use this quite neat. So it's got a quite good grip in your hand. Another thing that I just want to talk about is when they cast this, the screwdriver, the back of the chrome vanadium steel part of it, if you look at it like this, so there's my tip of the screwdriver. The back, somewhere in the back will be two bits that's just flattened with a punch or a press, and those two bits get cast in here, and that keeps it from being pulled out of here. So it's just two little flat wings that's been pressed into the steel while this is manufactured. And this is hardened, of course, and this one is hardened as well to keep it sharp. So what you need to do is the assignment will be to identify something at home that you can analyze, like a product or material or anything, and just have you can draw the product on the top of a page and have a little write about it, or if you want to, you can even make a little video clip of your product that you identified.